Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Phallarvindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Parnaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamrutaduhe Namaha Panishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahat Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om. Hari Om. Anybody who directs their personality to Bhagavan with full attention, love, care, they will reach Bhagavan. And that is exactly what we do on Mahashivaratri. On Mahashivaratri, we attempt to direct our entire personality to Bhagavan Shiva, to realize that the auspiciousness that is there is the same auspiciousness that is here. And that we try to connect this little power with that infinite power. On Mahashivaratri we chant Om Namah Shivaya, we chant Rudram, and we do puja and whatever it takes to keep our mind on Bhagavan Shiva. Then why is it that we are studying Bhagavad Gita on Mahashivaratri? Well, actually, it is interesting because the same effort that we put in to see the power and the infinite presence of Bhagavan Shiva on Mahashivaratri, that same train of thought to reach that point is going on right here in chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita. I'll show you how. First of all, let us take on Mahashivratri, we chant Rudram. It is a most potent chant from the Vedas. And in that Rudram, basically we are doing Namaha, we are prostrating to Bhagavan Shiva in the form of every single thing in this universe. Every single thing that you can think of, we do Namaha, we do prostrations, we do Namaskar to Bhagavan Shiva as those things in this universe. Even we're supposed to see my hands are his hands. And when I see the sun, I see that every hue of that sunrise is actually Bhagavan Shiva. When I look at the ground, that is Bhagavan Shiva. When I look at the plants, that is Bhagavan Shiva. Every single thing in this universe, I do Namaskar to as Bhagavan Shiva. That is the exact same thing that is going on right now, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna is explaining that he is this entire world. And really speaking, there is absolutely no difference between Bhagavan Shiva and Bhagavan Sri Krishna. So, in this chapter where we are trying to understand how this world that we see in front of us is Bhagavan. It is the Lord. And that understanding is supposed to change our attitude. For example, if we are using a stone as a doorstop, and then somebody comes and says, hey, this is not just an ordinary stone, this is a rare, precious gem that you cannot find in other places. Then you think, oh, this is valuable? Well, I shouldn't use it as a doorstop anymore. I should take it and see how much it's worth and see what it will do for me. Or maybe I should keep it and use it to get some name and fame and some prosperity out of that. So my attitude changes because of my understanding of what that stone really is. But now if you see something as a stone and someone says, hey, that is not a stone, you know. It is not just an ordinary stone. That stone is Bhagavan. Well, why doesn't that same revolution happen in our mind? Because it takes time. Our attitude when we hear this section where Bhagavan is describing himself as the world, it is supposed to change our attitude from seeing things as things that I like versus things that I don't like to having reverence for every iota of this universe. It takes time, so that is why Bhagavan starts here in chapter 7. He as though plants the seed and slowly lets it try to sprout before it reaches chapter 11, where we see that entire Vishvarupa darshan of Bhagavan. It is kind of like, I was thinking it's kind of like when that parent is going to have a second child and they want the child to understand that there's another being that is going to come into this family. There's another child that is going to be coming and taking attention and being around. They try to do all kinds of things to prepare the little child's mind to understand, hey, you're going to get a new baby, brother or sister. But somehow, what they do is never enough to really prepare the mind of the child to understand that suddenly a being is going to come out of this belly and they're going to be living with me, you know? So that transformation, they try to start it, but it only really happens when that baby actually comes. In the same way, Bhagavan starts to give us guidance to try to move our mind in the direction of seeing Bhagavan everywhere and as everything. But because it is so hard, he starts by pointing out how he is all the positive things in the universe. And he does it for a little while, and then he leaves it. And then he picks it up again in chapter 9, and then he picks it up again in chapter 10, like that. So where we left off last night, he was describing exactly this, how he is everything in this universe. So we'll pick up now from verse number 11 in chapter 7. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Balam Balavatam Chaham Kamaraga Vivarjitam,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Dharma Viruddho Bhuteshu Kamosmi Bharatarshava,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Balam Balavatam Chaham. I am the strength of the strong. Now, if you think of strength in strong people, you will realize that strength is exhibited in so many different ways. There is physical strength, there is political strength, there is economic strength, there is strength of knowledge, there is religious strength. There are so many different types of strength in this world. And generally, we see that when people have strength and power, they use that power to control other people. So you wonder, Bhagavan, you are that strength? So it seems like there's different types of strengths. There's negative strength, like the strength that we find in Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and all dictators in this universe and all of that. And then there's some kind of positive strength that we see in saints and Mahatmas and people in the community who care about other people. So there are two different types of strength. And so you say, Bhagavan, we're supposed to see you in all strength? And so Bhagavan specifies, no. Kama raga vivarjitam. I am that balam which is devoid of kama and raga. I am that power, that strength, which is devoid of desire and attachment. So, first of all, what is desire? Desire is, kama is desire for something that I don't have yet. Like the books in the bookstore that I may not have purchased yet. The desire to acquire something is a very strong power. You can see what it does to people and how many things they do to be able to get their desires fulfilled. And you also see how strong those are when their desires are not fulfilled. Like when a teenager wants a phone and their parents refuse, you see the level of anger that can come out of them that you couldn't even imagine somebody like this could have, So desire has a very strong power. Attachment also does. Attachment here specifically refers to to possess or to keep what we already have. So to make sure that what we have is not taken away from us. And one of the simplest ways to see that is to watch a little child holding something, whether it is theirs or not, but when they're holding it, it is theirs, and you try to take it out of their hand, well, it feels like it is impossible, especially if it is your hair. It is like that thing they will never let go of it, and you cannot believe a little child like this has so much power. So there is a power of trying to keep what you already have. This power is what Bhagavan is saying he's devoid of. He is that strength which is devoid of desire to acquire and desire to retain what we already have. People think, well, without this, what power, what strength will you have? But actually, desire and attachment make us weak, because we are afraid we're going to lose those things. And it is out of that fear that we actually do what we do, and that fear leads us to compromise on dharma many times. For example, when Ravana wanted to go and get Sita ji, Tulsidas describes that he went like a dog, because an outer display of power is not really true power and strength. At that time, he had absolutely no strength inside, even though outside he had the physical might to go and pick her up and put her in the chariot. So, display of power is not real strength, and it is certainly not what is being talked about over here. Guruji was explaining how, people say money can buy anything. Money can buy anything, money can buy anybody. But money cannot buy an honest person. Money cannot buy honesty. And if you bring money in front of an honest person, then you will see the true power of how right is might, not might is right. So these things allow us to re-reflect on what we think strength really is, and to see the divinity in strength that is devoid of selfishness, basically. So now someone might ask, well, are you saying then that desire is bad? Because you're saying your strength that is devoid of desire. So Bhagavan says, no, hold on. Even desire has two types. So let me clarify. He says, dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. I am kama. I am desire. But what kind of desire? In all beings, I am that desire which is not opposed to dharma. Desire which is not opposed to dharma is a way for somebody to see the divinity of Bhagavan expressed. Not opposed to dharma means not transgressing the limits of dharma that are set by the Shastras in any way, shape, or form. It also means desire for the welfare of all beings, not just myself and my family and my friends, but all beings in this universe. Or you can see it as any desire that will help me to grow spiritually versus a desire that will bring me down spiritually. And we're not talking here about only desires for satsang or desires for seva, means go to the mandir and help with something. Even the desire to make money can be a noble desire if it is approached with the right lens. So it is not the action per se, but the attitude behind the action, the reason because of which you're doing the action, that will determine whether it is a desire that is opposed to dharma or not opposed to dharma. How will we get this power of this desire which is not opposed to dharma? Bhagavan had addressed it earlier, and the simple explanation for this is we have to do our swadharma. When we do our duty uncompromisingly, it brings such strength to our personality that you cannot even imagine what it can do to our life. The power of swadharma of doing your swadharma is unmatched. Yesterday we had seen, Dave was telling the story of the lady who had done so much tapas just by taking care of her husband and being a pativrata nari. Doing our duty is the key to developing this power that Bhagavan says he is, the desire which is devoid of or not opposed to dharma. Okay. This is like a indication to Arjuna, because Arjuna wants to run away from the battlefield. At every excuse, he keeps telling Bhagavan, well, this meditation you're talking about, why don't I go and do that? Or this karma sannyasa you're talking about, why don't I go and do that? Or this knowledge that you're talking about, why don't I stop this battle and go and get that? And so, it is almost like Bhagavan is saying, look, the true strength is in staying here and fighting and doing your duty. That, in this itself, you can see divinity. So this is how Bhagavan tells Arjuna, he is the strength. So that means now, see, hearing this, it means when we see strength in this universe, we see strength that is devoid of kama and raga, we see strength, or we see desires that are not opposed to dharma, we have to say, hey, that is Bhagavan. That is Bhagavan manifesting in the person. That is Bhagavan manifesting in me. And if I want to feel the presence of Bhagavan more in my life, well, then I just have to try to develop those desires which are not opposed to dharma. And I remember that every time a desire like that comes in my mind, well, that is a direct experience of Bhagavan in my life. Like this, Bhagavan describes. Now, Bhagavan also includes, so far he's been talking about external things or things that can be seen very easily. Now he switches to talking about how he is even internal things. So let us chant number 12 and then we'll see. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajasas tamasascha ye.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Matta eveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu te mayi.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Matta eva eti tan vidhi. Understand these things also to have risen from me only. What? Yecha eva sattvikaha rajasaha tamasaha bhavaha. All the products, manifestations, emotions which are born of sattva guna, of rajoguna, and of tamoguna. Meaning, our entire inner world of thoughts has also risen from Bhagavan only. Now our thoughts are sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Meaning we will have thoughts that are noble, we will have thoughts that are filled with things that take us closer to Bhagavan, like shraddha and bhakti and all of those kinds of emotions. Then we will have rajasic thoughts, which are dynamic and passionate and also filled with desire and anger and greed and jealousy, and all of those thoughts will be rajasic thoughts that are there in our mind. Then our mind will also have tamasic thoughts, like laziness and dullness and lack of awareness and upside down thinking. So all of those thoughts have come or have risen from Bhagavan only. Now remember, Bhagavan had described himself as twofold. One part of him is what he called his para prakriti, or his higher nature, which is the life force in us which doesn't change. And then the other part is the apara prakriti, or his lower nature, which goes on changing. So usually thoughts are the kind of thing where we get confused between, like, thoughts are conscious, but are they? Because, see, consciousness doesn't change, but our thoughts change. I mean, it's a blessing that our thoughts change. Otherwise, you would have one thought for the rest of your life. And then imagine if it's a terrible thought, then you're doomed forever. But our thoughts change. And if our thoughts change, then it means that our thoughts are part of the lower prakriti. That means our thoughts are not consciousness. Our thoughts are backed by consciousness, but our thoughts are not consciousness. These thoughts have arisen from Bhagavan. They're sattvic, they're rajasic, they're tamasic. And he says, now, someone might say, well, I don't have all good thoughts. I also have bad thoughts sometimes. I also have thoughts that bring me down. I mean, tamasic thoughts and rajasic thoughts are not ideal thoughts all the time. So, Bhagavan made me have those thoughts? I mean, if they've arisen from Bhagavan, well, it is not like Bhagavan made us have those thoughts. If you watched On a Quest, the example that was given to Gurudev by Swami Shivananda along these lines is, for the car to go from here, Monripo, to East Verbies, where we have to go tomorrow, petrol is required. So you put petrol in the car, and that is what allows the car to move. But the petrol is not what causes or makes the car or determines that the car is going to go from here to there. There's a person who is determining where the car is going to go. So the petrol facilitates that process, but the petrol is not responsible for where the car ends up. Like if it ends up in a trench. That's a person who is determining it, right? In the same way, Bhagavan doesn't make us have negative thoughts. The power to have those thoughts is his power, but the thoughts that we have are generated by our own self. They're still divine, but it is not Bhagavan making us have those thoughts. So you can't say, well, Bhagavan made me have a jealous thought, No. That's on you. So you don't blame Bhagavan for the negative thoughts that you have, but you understand that it has risen from him. And the fact that we can understand that it has risen from Bhagavan, it means that somehow we have to find a way to move our mind from what the thought actually is to seeing the divinity that is there behind the thought. Because this whole effort is, wherever I look, whether I look outside or whether I look inside, I am striving to come to see Bhagavan. So when I open my eyes, I should see him. And when I close my eyes and I have all kinds of thoughts, irrespective of the thoughts, I should see him. Now someone might say, well, Bhagavan, if all the thoughts have risen from you, that means that You are in the thoughts. Like if you make a clay pot from clay, then the clay is in the pot. So Bhagavan says, no. Na tu aham teshu te mai. I am not in them, but they are in me. Meaning, this sounds like cryptic, but it's actually very simple. Basically, Bhagavan is saying, my existence doesn't depend on them, but their existence depends on me. I can exist without a thought, but the thought cannot exist without me. Like that. So one is independent and one is untouched, and the other one is dependent. And we see this in our life also. My nails and my hair cannot exist without me. But people very well exist without their hair. They might not like it, but they exist without their hair also. And then, in the same way, I can exist without thoughts. I mean, so many people have thoughtlessness all the time. So, we can exist without these things, but these things cannot exist without us. So, Bhagavan is saying, these thoughts are there because of me, but I am not dependent on these thoughts. It also means that he is not affected by sattva, rajas, and tamas, or these sattvic, rajasic, tamasic thoughts. For example, there was one little snake, and he asked his mom, "Mom, are we a venomous variety of snakes or a non-venomous variety of snakes?" And the mom looked at him and said, "No, we're non-venomous." And he was like, "Okay, phew, because I just bit myself." but the venom in him cannot do anything to him. In the same way, the sattva, rajas, and tamas belongs to Bhagavan. They've risen from him, but it cannot do anything to Bhagavan. That is what he is saying. So he's saying, well, we are now thinking, when these thoughts come in our mind, we should remember that these thoughts have arisen from Bhagavan, and we should try and see the divinity that is there behind the thoughts instead of focusing on what those thoughts are doing to us. Okay, now let us continue. Now, until verse 12, Bhagavan was focusing on his nature. He was talking about his higher nature, his lower nature, and how to see specifically examples of that in this world so we can experience him in the world. Now, someone might say, well, Bhagavan, there is a big problem in this whole presentation that you have given. And what is that problem? That problem is, if you really are everywhere like you're saying, why is it that people don't see you everywhere? Why is it that people don't know you? And if you're really everywhere, then nobody should suffer, because your presence is the kind of thing that removes suffering. Why will people suffer if you're everywhere, if everything is God? So now, Bhagavan is going to address this issue of how come, even though he is everywhere, and he is every single conceivable thing and inconceivable thing in this universe, how is it that we don't know him still? So let us chant and see what he has to say. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Tribhirgune maye bhavehi ebi sarvamidam jagat
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Devi Isha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Mameva ye prapadyante Mayamedam taranti te
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Tribihi gunamayehi bhavehi ebhihi sarvamidam jagat mohitam. This entire world of human beings is deluded by these three bhavas, meaning the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic bhavas. These three bhavas are products of sattva, rajas, and tamas, and our Puja Gurudev describes this sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic bhava as moods of the mind. So you'll see that sometimes you're in a peaceful mood or a devotional mood. At other times, you'll feel like you're in a agitated, frustrated mood. And at other times, you're just in a mood to do nothing. There's even a song. I don't know like how these songs get so popular. It goes, I don't know, remember it properly now, but it goes something like, I don't want to do anything. Literally, people are singing about how they don't want to do anything, and people go on singing that, and they're happy to sing it. Come on, man. That's a tamasic thought in the mind. Now that is also, tamas is also required. When you're going to sleep, you're not supposed to want to do anything at that time. But usually it's at the other times where we don't want to do anything. So when we are sleepy or we don't feel like doing anything, we feel confused, that time we should understand that there's tamas in our mind. Then rajas, same, all active thoughts and all of that, right? Then sattva. So these three influence the mind. The mind remains under their influence at all times. So because of these thoughts, we're constantly distracted from seeing the substratum which is behind these thoughts. This is the first way to look at it. Like when you go to the movies, you're so taken up with the actual movie that you forget that there is a screen because of which you can see the movie. So we can see all of these thoughts, and they're coming and they're going and they're disturbing our mind, or they're making our mind happy, or they're making our mind agitated, whatever it is they're doing to our mind. But our mind is so focused on those thoughts that we forget the divinity or the substratum because of which those thoughts are there. So we are deluded by these thoughts that come and take our attention away from that which is powering the thoughts. The other way to look at it is, this sattva, rajas, and tamas actually makes up the entire universe. Every single thing in this universe is a product of sattva, rajas, and tamas. So everything in this universe is there to take our mind away only, isn't it? When you see the sunrise nowadays, which was supposed to be like a thing that took your mind to the divine power of Bhagavan, now you think, oh, I wonder if my time-lapse recording will capture this sunrise nicely. The mind is just, every single thing in the universe has the capacity to delude us. Meaning, we see something nice and our mind is swept away. So Bhagavan is saying, it is because of these things, na abhijanati mam. It is because of these sattva, rajas, and tamas, whether you think of them as thoughts in the mind or you think of it as the products that are outside, they do not know me. And who am I? Ebhyaha param avyayam. I am beyond these and I am unchanging. Now, you think, right? Para-prakriti, or Bhagavan's higher nature, is invisible and it is attributeless. So you cannot see it, you cannot touch it, you cannot imagine it, you cannot interact with it in any way. Then you have his apara-prakriti, his lower nature, which is seen, which has attributes, which has beauty, which has the capacity to distract and pull your attention. Well, which one will you be attracted to? Obviously the one that you can see, the visible one. But the trouble comes when we miss that para-prakriti, when we miss that invisible, attributeless part of Bhagavan, and we restrict our mind to that which is seen. And then, because of that fascination that we have with the world outside, we don't even try to come to know the other part of Bhagavan, which is his unseen, attributeless nature. Now, there's a big problem in this whole thing. I mean, someone might say, well, everything is Bhagavan, so it doesn't matter if I don't know it's Bhagavan. I'm still interacting with Bhagavan. I'm still in the presence of Bhagavan. I'm still feeling Bhagavan, seeing Bhagavan, touching Bhagavan. So it shouldn't matter. But the problem comes because, number one, in everything that I'm doing, I am looking for some kind of fulfillment. I'm looking for some kind of completeness. It's called purnata. I'm looking for purnatvam. I'm looking for that feeling of being complete. But the things in the universe, because they are apara prakriti, they are bound by time and space. Therefore, they are finite. And you all know mathematically that a finite thing cannot give you something infinite. So, finite things cannot give us the infinite feeling that we are looking for. So we don't find peace just by interacting with the world that is finite. The other problem is that in everything that we're doing, we're looking for some kind of security or reliability. You give thought to this, right? But because apara prakriti is always changing, as a result, the things that I want to rely on, or the people that I want to rely on, or the situations that I want to rely on, are always changing. Not just changing, they're actually going to disappear one day. They're actually unreliable. Whether they leave or whether circumstances make it that they're taken away, people will not be there in the way that I want them to be there. So then the solution will be what? I don't know if you've gone and taken a dip in Ganga before, but in the Rishikesh area, that Ganga Maya is very strong in some places. So if you want to go and take a dip, the force of the water is such that you could get swept away by going in. So what they have over there is they have chains that you can hold on to when you go and take a dip. So that even if the force of the water is trying to push you away, you're holding onto something that is not moving so that you won't move in spite of the moving water. Well, in the exact same way, when we come to find, acknowledge, seek that para prakriti, that unchanging, attributeless part of Bhagavan, it is like now we're holding on to the chains in this samsara. And even when this samsara is bringing whatever changes it has to bring, I am not going to move because of that. Now I can enjoy the water coming and the water going and the force of the water and everything. But if I didn't have something steady to hold on to, then I would be swept away and go up and down with the water, and everything would be totally out of my control. So this is the power of seeking that which is unchanging in this universe. Now Bhagavan continues. This threefold, this tribihi, what did he call it? Tribihi gunamayehi bhavehi. These threefold bhavas, he gives them their official name, and it's a word that everybody knows very well. It is called Maya. In the next verse, he explains that gunamayi, that thing that is constituted of the three gunas, is called Maya. It is not just Maya, it is Mama Maya. It is my Maya, and it is Devi. It is divine. This Maya of Bhagavan is made of the three gunas, and it is divine. And some people think that there's Maya, and then in the Maya there's the three gunas. But actually, it is like there is nothing else that is Maya apart from the three gunas. Like water is nothing but 2H and 1O. It's not like there's 2H and 1O and then there's also water and then the H2O is in that. The H2O is what becomes water. So it is a sattva, rajas and tamas and all combinations of that is Maya. This Maya is the divine power of Bhagavan. It is the creative power of Bhagavan, and it is that by which we measure or come to know this world. Maya comes from ma, to measure. So literally, it's that by which we measure this universe. It's that because of which we come to know anything in this universe. So this divine power of Bhagavan, this Maya, is the cause of our problems. He says, Mama Maya duratyaya. My Maya is difficult to cross over. So he knows that his Maya causes trouble for people. But it is also divine, so it cannot be bad. So this Maya is difficult to cross over. But he tells how it can be crossed over. How it can be crossed over? Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Those people who seek refuge in me, who seek protection, who worship me alone, they certainly go beyond this Maya. And the example for this is, what does it look like to surrender to Bhagavan? The classic example that is used here is when you have a fisherman who goes to throw his net in the water. Any fish that are there are certainly going to get caught. There's no fish over there that he's going to miss, except the fish that are there right at his feet, because he's not going to throw the net at his own feet. In the same way, it is like Bhagavan is casting his spell of Maya out there, and everybody is going to get caught by this wonderful thing called Maya, except those who have taken refuge in the feet of Bhagavan, except those who have surrendered with their body, with their mind, with their heart, with their intellect, with their whole personality to Bhagavan. They certainly go beyond this Maya, Bhagavan says. The way to put this in non-bhakti language is those who realize the true nature of this universe, right? Of this truth. You can put it in whatever language you want. You know, the wonderful thing is, because it is Bhagavan's power, it has to listen to him. Like if you go over to your friend's house or anybody's house and they have a dog, and that dog is barking and it's going to come and jump on you, and even if it might be a harmless dog and it doesn't actually do anything, it just makes a lot of noise, you know. But if you don't like dogs, you get intimidated. Well, nothing that you do will stop the dog. In fact, it might aggravate the dog more. But if the boss of the house, your friend, or whoever you've gone to visit says, hey, whatever the dog's name is, that dog could be called Chicken also. Hey, Chicken! You know? And then that dog will back off because it listens to its master. In the same way, this Maya power is Bhagavan's power. So it has to listen to Bhagavan. So we surrender to Bhagavan, or we decipher or we understand the reality of this universe, however you want to put it. And like that, we go beyond Maya. But we're in the section on Bhakti, so we will talk from that point of view. There's one Vithala Bhagavan in Panduranga ashram, and he has his hands on his waist, and he's standing on some bricks. And the question is, well, why will Bhagavan stand like that with his hands on his waist? The answer is because there's an ocean in between Bhagavan and the devotee. And the devotee says, Bhagavan is saying, come to me. And the devotee says, no, but I cannot come because there's this ocean. I will drown. And Bhagavan is saying, you just come. The water is only up to here. It'll only be up to your waist. Like that, when we surrender, the force of samsara doesn't have its same effect on us. Or, for those who see their guru as Bhagavan, the description is there that forget trying to cross this ocean of samsara. The guru actually dries up the ocean. So there is no ocean to cross. The guru dries up the power of Maya in your life. And there is no force that it has on you after that. But it requires humility in surrendering to Bhagavan. Okay. So then the next question will come, well, if it is so simple to not face the problems of samsara, to not bear the brunt of this power of Maya, then why doesn't everybody do it? Why are still so many people suffering and sorrowful and all of that? So now he answers that in the next verse. Why don't people surrender? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Namam Dushkritino Murdhaha Prapadyante Dananat. Namam Dushkritino Murdhaha Prapadyante Naradhamaha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Mayaya Pahuta Jnana Asuram Bhavamashitaha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Namam prapadyante. They do not worship me. Who? Dushkritinaha mudhaha naradamaha. First few words, right? Who doesn't worship Bhagavan? Those people who are dushkritinaha. Those people who don't do good things. In simple words, those who don't do good things. Meaning, they have a strong desire to enjoy what it is that they want to enjoy, so they are ready to compromise on whatever it takes to be able to enjoy that. And as a result, they end up doing things that are not good. Because see, the way desire works is, if you fulfill a desire, it leads to another desire. And that desire leads to another desire. But it's not just that one desire makes one more desire, but it is like an explosion. So the fulfillment of one desire leads to multiple more desires. And the fulfillment of those desires leads to multiple more desires. So it isn't like one desire leads to one desire. It's like one desire exponentially increases our desires. So as we fulfill our desires, they're increasing faster than our current capacity to fulfill them. Whether it is from a monetary point of view or from a time point of view with respect to the other duties that we have. So when something like that comes where my desire is now bigger than the time that I have or the money that I have, well, you cannot stop desire. So what is going to compromise? What is going to be compromised? What is going to be compromised is the value of working to get money honestly, or the value of finishing the duty that you have before you do things of leisure. So like that, we compromise. And in the beginning, you feel bad when you're compromising. But as you do it once, twice, thrice, eventually it doesn't feel like that thing is a compromise anymore. The classic thing to think about is when students compromise on their studies to watch shows. Because they have a duty to society that is supporting them to go to school. But what they end up doing is they end up exploiting all of that resource and all of the time they're supposed to dedicate there to a desire that they have to watch something on Netflix or YouTube or whatever, right? And in the beginning, they might feel bad. But, after a few weeks of doing it, there's zero guilt whatsoever in their mind. Anyways, Bhagavan says they're deluded. Means a deluded person is someone who has upside down thinking. So they think, well, I don't need Bhagavan. I can get everything that I want without Bhagavan. They think I can... You know what the problem is? Their delusion is that they feel that even though other people in this world were not able to get the happiness that they were looking for, somehow they feel it will be different with me. Nobody has ever died fulfilling desires and feeling fulfilled. But they feel I will be different, So that total delusion is there that, no. With me, things will work out well. Bhagavan says they're naradhamaha. They're the lowest of the low people. Means they will use the precious human intellect for terrible things. And the terrible things means real terrible things people do. I don't think we need to talk about it because everybody knows what kind of terrible things happen in this world. But that is tantamount to someone needing to get a mirror to tie their sari or whatever, shave their face. And they end up going to buy the newest iPhone to use the camera app to do that. It doesn't make sense to use the human intellect, which has the capacity to strive for moksha and get the greatest happiness possible in the world, by doing all these low, unhuman things. Like that. And he says, Mayaya apahrita jnanaha. Their understanding has been looted away, taken away by Maya. Because the temptations are so strong in their life. It's like Maya is made of the 3 gunas, right? So these 3 gunas are there to like trap the person. You can literally imagine it's like a video game, and then there's like people there waiting to eat you up, some beings there, and if you miss one, the other one is there, and if you miss one, the other one is there. Like, you pass the road and you see a signboard advertising Pizza Hut. And then the thought passes in your mind. Then you pass it again the next day. And then you see it, and again that thought passes your mind. You didn't do anything, but it just passed. Then you go to the mall, and you smell it now. So it's like another thing is there. Well, the board didn't catch you, we'll find a different way. And then you ignore the smell, but then you see somebody there sitting and eating it. And then as they're pulling it and that cheese is oozing out, you're like, you know what? We have 10 minutes, let's get a pizza. And then what happened? Maya caught that person, right? The gunas are there to trap us in every way, shape, and form. And the whole world is there. The whole outside world is striving to see how they can catch you more and more and more. Do you know, I found out, YouTube and Netflix and all, they sit down in their boardroom and they have a meeting to discuss how they can take people's attention away from other things and other competition to have more screen time on their app. And you know what one of their competition is? Our sleep. So they actually have meetings to discuss how they can make human beings sleep less so they can watch more TV or whatever, some version of TV. The world is there to trap us. So Bhagavan is saying that our jnana, our thinking has been just looted away by this Maya. We allow the world to just take our mind away. And asuram bhavam ashritaha. They're totally given to asuri bhav. Asuri bhav, it's not like somebody with like a big mustache, and imagine Ravana walking with his, ha 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 laugh. That's not what an asura is. Actually, the simple definition of asura is a materialistic person. Somebody who is excessively given to sense pleasures and indulgence is considered as an asura in this tradition. Right? You tell me. Sense indulgence is increasing or decreasing? It's a very simple test, actually. The number of shows and movies that exist now, are they increasing or are they decreasing? Increasing like crazy. I mean, you just imagine the amount of TV, I'm calling it TV, the amount of things that you watch on Amazon Prime or Netflix or YouTube or whatever, right? You imagine your grandparents having that much time to watch those things. It's not fathomable because they had a life. They had things to do. They couldn't sit there and binge watch 10 episodes of something and then talk to their friends about it for 2 hours. They had things to do. Now, if the shows are increasing, it can't be because nobody's watching them. Well, somebody has to be watching them. It means sense indulgence is going up. That thing is pure 100% sense indulgence. If you didn't have those shows in your life would be perfectly fine. In fact, it might be better. It would be better because of all the time you would get back. But anyways, this world that we live in, it keeps us wanting to go and make money and wanting to spend money and wanting to give away all of our time to every single other thing than what we really want in life. So a smart person is someone who realizes, well, if I don't want Maya to trap me, I can't allow myself to just engage in sense indulgence indiscriminately. I will be an asura, and who wants to be an asura? we put nice words on it and we take away the asura feeling, but it's the exact same thing. And Bhagavan is saying, that is why people don't surrender to me. So when you wonder, I come to the mandir and I pray to Bhagavan, but why isn't anything happening? It is because of these other things that are obstructing us from actually, totally, properly surrendering to Bhagavan. Okay. Now you might wonder, Bhagavan, all these things that you described, Dushkritinaha and Asuram Bhavam and all, okay, I don't have that much of those things. I'm not so bad also. I don't engage in adhamas things. I'm not naradhamaha. So how do you explain that? Where would I fall? Okay, I've not totally surrendered. But I've also not surrendered. So what does that make me? Where do I fall? So Bhagavan talks about now the 4 types of devotees that worship him. Actually there's so many famous lines are in this section. But let us chant this famous verse. Number 16. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
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 Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritino Arjuna.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Arto jignyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshava.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
O Arjuna, Chaturvidha bhajante mam, janaha sukritinaha. There are 4 types of people that worship me. 4 classifications of people that worship me. And who are these people? They're sukritinaha. They're people who do good deeds. They're noble people, as opposed to the dushkritinaha of the previous verse. So now when Bhagavan tells these 4, please remember that he is not telling it for us to take and see, okay, my spouse is number 1, my parents are number 2, my children are number 3, my neighbor is not on the list. This list is not for us to analyze other people. It is for us to reflect on which one we are. So what are these 4 types? The first one is artaha. Artaha is somebody who is distressed, who is filled with sorrow and suffering and afflicted in some kind of way. And they need Bhagavan to remove their suffering. So they're suffering and they pray to Bhagavan such that, Bhagavan, please do something so that I don't need to suffer anymore. And everybody has gone through this experience at some point in time or another. Even little children know how to go to Bhagavan to pray. Bhagavan, I didn't study. You please help me. Please. Everybody somehow knows you go to Bhagavan when you're distressed and you ask him for stuff. Then the next type is the artharthi. Artharthi is someone who is desirous of something, not to remove suffering, but desirous of some kind of wealth or prosperity. They want something from Bhagavan. They want more. Like, Bhagavan, I want to win the lottery. Or, Bhagavan, I wish I could get a new car. Or whatever. They want something. One child was sitting in the puja room and he was saying loudly, Bhagavan, I really want a bicycle for my birthday. Bhagavan, I really want a bicycle for my birthday. He's like yelling this. And his mom came and said, Bhagavan is not deaf. He's right there. And the boy said, yeah, I know. But Aja in the next room is deaf. And he's going to get it for me. Now, somehow, we have associated Bhagavan with this, I'm going to come to you and you're going to give me something. And we have like a transaction. That is like 1-800 Bhakti. I pick up the phone, 1-800 Bhagavan. Hi, today can you help me to remove my pain? And then tomorrow, hi, can you help me to get this new thing that I want? And we call him when we want something. That means if we don't want something, we are not a devotee. Because there's nothing to ask, so then we won't go to Bhagavan. So we're only a devotee if we're actually asking Bhagavan for something. These are two types of devotees like that. But that also means that we're using Bhagavan as a means to get to an end. And if there's a means and if there's an end, which one is more valuable to us? Well, the means can be discarded also once I get to where I want to go. So actually, Bhagavan is not the one that I care about. It is this other thing that Bhagavan is going to give me that I care about when I am a arti or an artharti. The other person is a jignasu, someone who is desirous of knowledge. Now this could include any knowledge. It could include PhD knowledge. It could include knowledge of Bhagavan. So a whole range is there. And depending on the type of knowledge that we ask for, it will determine whether we are a 1-800 Bhakta calling Bhagavan for getting something, or if we actually are striving to come to know him, So, then the last one is the jnani. The jnani is the one who doesn't want anything from Bhagavan. He knows the tattva, or the nature of Bhagavan. And because he knows Bhagavan, he helplessly has love for Bhagavan. So these are the 4 types of devotees. Now, the question two things will come. One is, we will be different types of devotees at different times of our life also. But when we study this, the whole point is we should know that we shouldn't remain just someone who's asking for things, but we should evolve to a greater form of devotee. But then the question will be, well, which is the best devotee? Everyone wants to know the best everything, right? So Bhagavan is going to tell who the best devotee is, but we will see that tomorrow. So we'll pause here. Think about which type of devotee you are and which one you want to be. Because I think the one you want to be is also the one Bhagavan thinks is the best. We'll see tomorrow. So now we'll pause here. Today being Mahashivratri, we will now go straight into chanting of Om Namah Shivaya. We will chant from now until midnight. And then at midnight, we will do Arti for Bhagavan Shiva. And then we will close. Okay, so we'll just do we'll do Om Purnamada and then we will switch. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.